The US and Russia represent two distinct military paradigms. The United States is a global superpower with unmatched expeditionary capabilities, while Russia relies on overwhelming firepower and regional dominance, particularly in Eurasia. This isn't just about hardware, it's about strategy, geography, and how both nations use their strengths to offset their weaknesses. Now let's dig into the specific points of contention and opportunities for exploitation. 1. Military size and composition. Depth versus quality. Russia's strengths. Russia's military doctrine is built around mass mobilization, with an enormous reserve force of 2 million. In theory, this gives Russia an edge in wars requiring attrition or territorial defense, especially in its home regions like Eastern Europe. Their conscript-based system, while less professional, gives Russia a scalable manpower advantage, and conscripts often supplement logistical and rear-line duties, freeing professional soldiers for frontline operations. U.S. strengths. The U.S. military excels in professionalism and training. With an all-volunteer force, morale and motivation among personnel tend to be higher than in a conscript-heavy force like Russia's. This makes the U.S. better suited for complex, high-stakes operations requiring precision and discipline. The United States has the most effective special forces in the world. In asymmetric or unconventional conflicts, these units would dominate. Russia's Spetsnaz are formidable but lack the global deployment capability of U.S. units like Delta Force or SEALs. Exploitation and weaknesses. Russia's weakness. Mass mobilization comes at a cost. Poor training among reservists, outdated equipment, and logistical bottlenecks limit their ability to sustain large-scale operations over time. The U.S. could exploit this by targeting critical supply hubs, causing Russia's forces to collapse under the weight of poor logistics. U.S. weakness. While the U.S. is optimized for expeditionary warfare, its force size limits its ability to fight sustained, large-scale ground wars. Russia could exploit this by drawing the U.S. into a prolonged ground conflict in Eurasia, where it would struggle to replenish manpower. Second, land power, numbers versus precision. Russia's strengths. Russia fields over 12,500 tanks and a massive artillery force, with systems like the TOS-1A thermobaric rocket launcher capable of devastating enemy positions. This makes Russia uniquely suited for blitzkrieg-style operations aimed at overwhelming the enemy before they can organize. Missile systems. Russia's Iskander SRBMs and Kaliber cruise missiles are designed for precision strikes deep behind enemy lines. These systems can cripple infrastructure or forward bases, particularly in Europe. U.S. strengths. The U.S. relies on superior targeting and networked warfare, combining intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) assets with precision-guided munitions. Systems like HIMARS, High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, proved their worth in Ukraine, offering long-range precision strikes far beyond the reach of traditional artillery. While Russia's tanks are numerous, the M1 Abrams is better protected, highly mobile, and often paired with advanced battlefield networks. This makes U.S. forces more survivable in contested environments. Exploitation and weaknesses. Russia's weakness. Russian tanks like the T-72 and T-80 suffer from outdated design features, particularly their vulnerability to modern anti-tank weapons like javelins and NLOs. Their infamous autoloader design can lead to catastrophic turret failures, the so-called jack-in-the-box effect. U.S. and allied forces could exploit this with precision strike capabilities, creating catastrophic losses for Russia's armored divisions. U.S. weakness. The U.S. lacks the sheer volume of artillery that Russia can bring to bear. In a scenario where the U.S. cannot establish air superiority, its ground forces could be bogged down by Russia's artillery-heavy doctrine. 3. Air power, stealth versus defense. Russia's strengths. Russia's S-400 and S-500 air defense systems are among the most advanced in the world, capable of engaging stealth aircraft and hypersonic targets. These systems could severely limit the effectiveness of U.S. air power in contested areas like Eastern Europe. Russia's Su-35 and Su-57 fighters are optimized for air superiority and long-range engagements, making them a potential challenge for non-stealth U.S. aircraft. U.S. strengths. The U.S. operates the world's largest and most advanced air force, with cutting-edge platforms like the F-35 and F-22 designed to penetrate heavily defended airspace. These aircraft, combined with AWACS and drones, enable unparalleled situational awareness and operational flexibility. In drone warfare, the U.S. leads with platforms like the MQ-9 Reaper and RQ-4 Global Hawk, capable of striking targets or gathering intelligence far beyond the reach of Russian defenses. Exploitation and weaknesses. Russia's weakness. While Russia's air defenses are formidable, they can be saturated or overwhelmed by the sheer number of U.S. stealth and cruise missile strikes. Additionally, Russia's limited stealth capabilities, e.g. the Su-57, still produced in small numbers, make it unlikely to gain air superiority. U.S. weakness. Without sufficient SEAD suppression of enemy air defenses operations, the U.S. could struggle to project air power in areas saturated with Russian air defenses. In a prolonged conflict, this could force the U.S. to rely more heavily on standoff weapons. 4. Naval power, global domination versus regional focus. Russia's strengths. Russia's submarine force is its most capable naval asset, with platforms like the Bore-class ballistic missile submarines and Yasin-class attack submarines posing a threat to U.S. carrier groups. Coastal defense assets like Kaliber missiles and hypersonic Zircon missiles make Russia a formidable opponent in enclosed seas, such as the Baltic or Black Sea. U.S. strengths. The U.S. Navy is unmatched in global power projection, with 11 carrier strike groups capable of launching sustained operations anywhere in the world. Russia's single aging carrier cannot compete in this realm. U.S. submarines, like the Virginia-class, are quieter and more advanced, giving the U.S. a critical edge in undersea warfare. Exploitation and weaknesses. Russia's weakness. Its surface fleet is aging and smaller in size. In open ocean warfare, Russian ships would be highly vulnerable to U.S. naval air power and submarine attacks. U.S. weakness. While the U.S. dominates in blue water operations, Russia's focus on missile-equipped corvettes and submarines gives it an edge in defending its coastal regions, particularly in the Arctic or Baltic.